Hello, everyone. This is Chris Anderson here. Back today with another discussion/debate with Yule and Alex here.
Hi.
All right. So for this topic of today, we are going to be talking about is the Nintendo Switch the best console ever made?
No.
Yes.
All right. As you guys can already tell, we have two different sides of the topic here. One absolutely loathes it, and the other one wants to marry it.
I'm already married to it.
So I only played like a little of it at a gaming bar, so I have a good feel of it. But you guys actually own it and played it, so I'm probably let you guys do most of the talking.
Yeah.
So in case anybody wants to know our like current standing with the console, I have it. Yeah, I actually have had two different Switches across all of my career. How about you, Alex?
I got my Switch last year as a present from my best friend. I did have it on my wish list for a good while, actually. Like, I was planning on maybe buying one, but, finance stuff and never could afford one. So when I got one as a gift, that was, like, amazing because, yeah, it was something I had wanted for a long time. It was a console I lusted after. Like, right away when it was announced, I was like, okay, this is perfect for me because I live in a very small apartment at the moment. I don't have a big TV or anything, so having a console that is portable for me is like perfect. Because I can also take it with me to work because I commute. I work in other cities, so having something to play on the bus and stuff is just perfect for me. So for me, the Switch just fulfills all my gaming needs in a way.
All right, I guess we have that. Anyway, since Chris is not going to be actively participating in the debate much,
Well,
how
I
about
give
you?
my
How
two
about you
thoughts in.
how about you act as the mediator of the
Okay,
whole thing?
all right, that's fine. You guys take it away. I'll be right here, making sure nothing gets out of control.
Okay.
And then how about besides that, you also need to ask questions. Ask us.
Yeah, I'll ask
Yeah.
questions. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start with simple then. All right, the console. Do you think the games are worth it?
Oh, totally.
No.
Uh,
You go ahead, Alex. I'm going to slam my
Yeah.
case.
The thing with the Switch is that it's got a lot of ports, but at the same time, it's a portable console. So this it might be the only thing
Okay.
that-
Let's keep it to the first party games. We'll go to why in a second.
We'll
But
start with the first party games.
Yeah. First party.
Yeah, I think the Switch has great first party titles. Probably better than the Wii U in terms of first party titles because they seem a lot more interesting. Like Nintendo is taking a bit more chances, and like with Super Mario Odyssey, that's a very new type of Mario game. It's not very traditional, and it feels like they're trying to do something new with the Switch, and it feels very fresh in my mind.
right. That's so cute, but what does that mean when Nintendo actively, hinders those experiences? Like, for example, one of the games of this generation is like Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that game came with its own set of controversies that made it the most polarizing game in the entire existence.
Yeah,
Uh,
obviously, it's gonna be on a game to game
Oh
basis.
no! I have more cases. How about Animal Crossing? How about Animal Crossing New Horizons that basically fucks players over if they want to play multiple instances of the game in the same system? How about
Well,
Super Mario?
the game isn't really designed for that. It's designed to be like one island, and that's the island you have.
No,
So that's how the game
what?
is made. It's not really a
Yeah,
restriction. It's more like this is how the game is made. And if you want more islands, then you can't really have it. But That's not
because that
that's
basically
not what
requires
people
me to.
want. It's not necessarily a fault of the game itself. That's just how the game is made.
No, it is because they can very easily implement multiple save
Yeah, but
slots or
they never
multiple
promised
profiles.
that. They never promised that, and I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan, so I don't know like if any of the older games had multiple islands. All I
They
know is
do.
that okay, but all I know is that New Horizons doesn't. So
Yeah, well, and that's their problem, or is it a bad? Is it a bad problem in the
for
side?
for me, it's not a problem because, like I said, this is my first Animal Crossing game. I have no like reference point. For me,
Well,
Animal Crossing New Horizons is like my first Animal Crossing game, so I
this
think it's
isn't
great.
much of a. Again, this isn't much of a your problem. It's still a problem in game design. If it doesn't affect you,
I'm
that's
not saying,
if it
I'm
doesn't.
not saying I'm not saying it isn't a problem, just that, in my opinion, it's not a huge issue. But it is an issue, I agree.
Yeah. And how about, for example, like Breath of the Wild, that again has the same problem with multiple players, where you only get access to one profile, and if you do and you're basically limited in what you do in literally any other profile you access. So
Okay.
same deal with what's this called? Oh, let's even talk about Super Mario Maker 2, which not only did it like I'm glad that they fixed the multiplayer. Like,
Yeah, I guess it's kind of fixed, but I've had a lot of lag issues with the
yeah.
multiplayer in Mario 2.
Oh, and speaking of lag, let's start talking about Super Smash
Yeah,
Bros. Ultimate.
I agree. That's an issue we can talk about.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: in order to play multiplayer on the Switch, you need to pay a subscription. You need to pay for Nintendo Switch Online, and that costs money. So when paying for multiplayer, you expect it to work, and it doesn't in a lot of cases.
Okay. We'll go into Nintendo Switch Online later because I do have some points in pro and against it.
Yeah.
But before we move on to, like I was saying, they like these are issues with the platform as a whole that basically keep me from being convinced, because again, these issues already got fixed in other games, especially from games on the Wii U. And not only that, but a lot of the first party games nowadays are basically just ports of Wii U games.
Yeah,
Like,
there are a lot of Wii U ports to the Switch. I agree. There's a fair amount of them.
Like, yeah, and you know, instead of giving attention to games like, for example, Kid Icarus Uprising, which could benefit from being on a more popular system, like, you know, it was already in the 3DS, but it could very easily be ported into the Switch,
Totally.
or have other games just like it. Like, I can tell you of a lot of games on the 3DS that could have well deserved to be on the Switch. And I got one of them with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. But the point here is that it simply, you know, doesn't warrant the purchase of a Switch over the 3DS. So, like, you know, the first party titles really aren't that great. Yeah, they do have the quality, and you basically are going to have the Nintendo seal of approval, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I believe that the Switch games are basically still faulty and honestly way too boring and repetitive for me to just go by and play them. I have found myself playing my 3DS much more than before, while my Nintendo Switch has been collecting dust, if anything.
The interesting thing here is that it's the opposite for me, because the 3DS never had any games that really appealed to me. I think maybe a couple games, like I think Star Fox 64 3D and Metroid 2 Samus Returns, the remake of that, was like the only two games that really attracted me to the 3DS. The rest was just like not really interesting me. And with the Switch, I have all these games that are like really pulling me towards it. I think one of the first games I played on it was like the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that is like one of the best Smash Brothers games I've ever played. So that being on the system alone was enough to draw me into really playing it, because I got it for free. It was a gift, but that game is something I played almost religiously. I played way more than any other Super Smash Bros. Game.
All right, so what about the ports that you guys were talking about? That a lot of games on the Switch are ports, and
Yeah, that was the big draw for me.
I'm not entirely done with the premise here, because the Wii U, as we all know, it was not a success. It was almost a commercial failure.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It was a commercial failure.
Okay, it was. No, beating around the bush around that. So that means a lot of Wii U games
undeservedly so. The Wii U was a good console. So
yeah, so that means a lot of Wii U games were not played and moved over to the Switch.
Yeah.
Is that so? Would you say that gives the Switch value since it has more an appeal and you can go essentially play any Wii U game that came out?
I would say that I never had a Wii U because the software library lacked support, and that was really disappointing to me because I saw a lot of potential in the Wii U. I saw that it could be used for a lot of things with the screen on the controller and stuff, and it having you play on the controller instead of on the TV and stuff. All that cool stuff, because the Wii U was a cool console, and I was really disappointed that it didn't get the support that it needed. So when the Switch came out, and I saw that people were like piling onto this console and going, we are going to get games onto it, I was really excited, because that meant, okay, we can get Wii U games on the Switch. I never had a Wii U, so this is great for me. I can play Wii U games on the Switch. And portably, like, for me, that's just a win. But I can see why people who bought the Wii U would feel like, okay, why are so many games on the Switch just Wii U ports?
And now jumping on the other side, yeah. So for people who have played other consoles, when they see their Switch only has ports, wouldn't you still find that discouraging for them? Because why buy that when you already played the game on something else?
And that's where I come in, because those ports tend to be the worst ports I've ever seen in my entire life as a critic. Like, I have games crash, I have games stutter, I have games, downright giving me shit. It's basically just a huge mess in the whole dynamic,
Is there like any games you can like list up top of your head that was ported over to the Switch and like it ran terribly?
I think I remember one. Basically, what was the name? The most recent example I can think of is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, and The Outer Worlds. And since
I thought we were discussing first party ports, but if we're gonna move on to
I thought about that.
About ports.
Yeah,
he moved on to ports, but yeah. Where was I? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Bloodstained.
The Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
The Outer Worlds was a terrible port. I agree, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was very disappointing as well.
Yeah, and for example, there also was a game called Rhyme that was pretty charming and fun to play on the PS4, but the Switch port had a lot of texture issues, frame rate drops, noticeable lag, muddy textures and details. It basically, played like shit.
Yeah.
It was a terrible fucking port, and it shouldn't have fucking deserved to exist, and yet it was. There it was. Payday 2 was also one of the worst ports off the top of my head, and Bloodstained is pretty infamous among people.
Yeah, those are some pretty bad ports. I agree. That's probably why I haven't bought them.
The problem with the Switch is that the hardware doesn't allow for those ports to truly flourish, not even in 720p.
Yeah, because it is a portable console. That's important to take into consideration. Is that it can never.
But what's the point? What's the point of having a portable console if those games don't play good?
Well, actually, low counter argument.
Because there are some really good Force on the
Yeah.
Switch that
Well-
really does take advantage of the hardware without sacrificing frame rates. I've played a lot of really great ports on
Okay.
the Switch. And
Let me,
I can talk about those
let me throw this little wrench at you. The Doom 2016 was ported over, and I heard that game played pretty well.
I've played that a lot.
Yes.
That was an amazing port.
Okay, yes, I can concede that there were some good ports. Yes, for example, like the aforementioned Doom, and now that I think about it, I am trying to remember there was a really good port that.
One port I want to highlight is Grim Fandango, the old adventure game. Like, sure, it's an old game, but it got a remaster, and the Switch version runs amazingly and looks amazingly, and like it is Grim Fandango, and you can play it portably. And compared to the Vita version, it's actually a lot better because the Switch has a bigger screen for one. So I would recommend that. And Ion Fury got Switch port. It had some problems in the beginning, but it's got patched and now it runs beautifully. And Saints Row the Third as well. I would recommend that. That's a really good port. So yeah. Also the one out in my mind.
Anyways, my issue with the whole thing is that the concept is that there should be a standard for the Switch. And okay, fine. It doesn't fucking play 1080p 60 frames per second, but fine. 720p 30 frames per second should be fucking impossible for that fucking thing. Okay? And that's my main issue behind everything. That the Switch almost always plays like subpar to the lowest standard imaginable.
Okay, you know
and
what?
I already have low standards as it is.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead, hop over to the hardware and software of the console, since you want to focus on that a bit. All right.
Yeah.
So we all know the Nintendo Switch is nowhere near as powerful as the PS4, Xbox One, and any PC, essentially.
That's why I'm not comparing them to those consoles and PC.
But the idea, but porting, be able to take it on the go, does that make up for its power? For the lack of power that you could take on the go.
No. I will die on that hill that the portability really doesn't make up for anything in this Switch. For example, I play a lot of games on my Nintendo 3DS, right? I just mentioned that. I have spent around.
You can play on the 3DS, so
hang on, you'll see what I'm getting at. I spend like 5 to 6 hours playing Project Cross Zone 2 because I love that game in the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, that's right.
Meanwhile, on the Nintendo Switch, the piece of shit, I have to. I can maybe play the fucking thing for 2 hours before it runs out of battery. And I have to fucking strap it down with a charger.
Yeah, that was a common problem with, I think, the first models of the Switch, where it had a really bad battery life. My Switch doesn't have that problem because I think I got a later model or something. But my battery has pretty good battery life.
Okay,
so.
fine. The model revision takes care of that. Fine, let's go with that. How the fuck is people going to supposed to know which one is which?
Yeah, that's the issue. I agree.
Wait, they don't tell you?
Yeah, they tell you that the model you should be looking out for is the one that has a red box or the HAC001 parentheses dash 001. But that doesn't mean that the consumer is going to look at that model for that specific model when
most consumers won't know the difference because it looks identical. So.
Yeah. So, fine, they addressed the fucking problem. They're still selling the first model Switches nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
I expected bad battery life when I got it. And then I found out later that it was the later model. And I was like, okay. Because I had no idea of knowing. I had no way of knowing, what model it was.
But, okay. So let's say the Nintendo Switch was mostly just used at home. Let's say a lot of people just use it at home, don't take it on the go. Let's just say they do that.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, should Nintendo Switch try to compete with the PS4 and Xbox
No.
One?
No.
It
Okay.
doesn't stand a chance.
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't stand a chance.
So you guys are completely okay with its graphical capabilities. That's as far as it can go.
I
am.
am not okay. I am not okay with those graphics.
I am fine with it. Like in most cases of the games, the type of games I play on the Switch, which are usually older games or retro type games, then the graphics don't really matter to me that much. So if I can play the game on the go, on the bus, like that's what matters to me. If I can lay in bed and play Dune 2016 or Bulletstorm, like that's amazing to me. So that's something that's fine for me. That if the
and for example, you're talking about me who uses the fucking Switch on his home and very rarely on the go because again I play my 3DS.
Yeah.
But for example, why the fuck will I play a Switch when I can just as easily boot up the games on my PC and have the same experience or better?
Yeah, I don't use my Switch as much when I'm home for that reason. Or if I'm just gonna play some games that run better on PC and look better on PC, then I will play them on PC if I'm home. But if I'm visiting a friend, for instance, or sleepovers or stuff like that, and all I have is a Switch, then yeah, that's a fine alternative to me.
Yeah, same deal here. I could very well, like for example, whenever I go into an excursion or something, I could take my Switch or I could take my 3DS and be happy with it. But the point is that I'm literally looking for every single other console other than the Switch in terms of ports and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you want a home console to play ports on, like multi-platform games, then the Switch isn't gonna cut it because it just doesn't give the optimal experience no matter what. So if you want a home console to play multi-platform games, then obviously you're gonna get a PS4 or Xbox One or
the PS4. The PS4. You will be a masochist if you fucking bought the fucking Xbox. The Xbox
yeah,
One.
totally. Yeah,
Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the PS4 or PC. Like that's your best bet.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the console's design and its controllers. How it has its own controllers are set on the side, and you can take them off and use those as little mini controllers.
Yeah,
the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah, Joy-Con.
Those are terrible to use. Like if you're playing 2-player games because they're so tiny. So I remember playing Super Mario Kart 8 with a friend while he was visiting, and we had to share Joy-Cons, and it was terrible. We were playing on this tiny controllers, and it felt like we were too big for this console.
No, actually, hate is way too generous. I loathe the fucking Joy-Cons. I don't know who the fuck designed them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they hated humanity for designing them, but holy shit, I have never seen such terrible controllers in my entire life.
But if you leave it on the console, it's not so bad, right?
Like if you have nothing else, then I think they're fine.
Like if you have the fucking support, like the Switch comes plastered with accessories, quote unquote, that you can use on your you can use on your thing. For example, that you have the little the contraction Alice, the one that you put the Joy-Cons on to make it a pseudo controller. That one.
Yeah, I know that I have that one. It makes them look like a dog.
Yeah, that's where the Nintendo Switch dog meme came from.
I know.
But yeah, you also have little straps that you can put on the top of each individual Joy-Con.
I've almost lost those like several times because I never used them.
Yeah, same here. But again, I barely use that thing as portable. That's not the point. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Okay. So yeah. Let's say that I'm playing. What was the point that was?
We were talking about the controller, and you were trashing it, and you were.
Oh right.
The Joy-Cons.
The Joy-Cons are so unresponsive, man. Like the button placement is so odd. I get what they were trying to do with
Yeah,
the
they're trying to go
whole.
for they're trying to go for like 2-player games, like you're holding one controller each.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
And-
If you're using both at once, it feels odd. I agree.
Yeah, and when using it as with tablet mode, it feels even more odd than before. Like
Okay.
like no joke, like no joke. I play games probably when I go to the bathroom, and yeah, I usually miss my Pro controller, and I actually bought a Pro controller to play Smash Bros. with.
Me too.
So-
The Pro controller is amazing. I will say that it has amazing build quality.
But the fucking
so great.
price of that thing, holy shit!
They
Dude,
are expensive.
More controllers
if you buy a
cost
Pro
just as
controller,
much
it'll
as
last
video
forever,
games.
so-
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying that the controllers these days cost just as much as a new video game.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but the Switch was the
I-
one that started that trend.
I will defend the price of the Pro controller because, in my opinion, it's solid. It feels like it will last a lifetime. I've never had issues with it. It feels great. I love the Pro
But
controller.
going back to trashing the Joy-Cons, did you
Okay,
know
okay.
that those have drift?
Okay, yo, how about this? I remember hearing that the Nintendo Switch still has a bit of the Wii sensor control motions in mind. Like, you could use
That's
motion
infrared
controls with that.
sensors.
Yeah,
What?
it does.
It has infrared sensors.
Oh, it does. Okay. So how does that add more value to these Joy-Cons?
I've
No.
never used the feature, so
Oh,
They
okay.
suck. The IR sensors suck. Like
Yeah.
big time. I can tell you because I play a lot of the Worldlands with You solo final remix.
hmm
I was about to say the mobile port game, but no. Yeah, final remix. I played a lot of it on the Joy-Con mode, and holy shit, the amount of times it needs to be readjusted or recalibrated because the system simply just doesn't know where the controllers are, even if you move the Joy-Cons very, very slightly.
okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. I should never use that then.
No, you should never use the fucking infrared sensor.
Yeah.
Like, if you get the chance, though.
If I get the chance, pass on it.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah,
all.
on top of those issues, we have the Joy-Con drift, which
Which I've never
has
had.
already happened. It already happened with me on the first system I had, and fuck, I hate it.
I feel like I'm the lucky one here because I keep hearing about it everywhere, so it has to be a real issue.
It is a real issue, and many people were angry at Nintendo so much so that there was a class action lawsuit against them for
I
that
remember
very reason. And again, that also is another point against the Switch. So let's take that into consideration.
I'm not gonna defend that because that is a real issue.
All right, fair enough. Okay, then. So, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else left to go over the Switch?
Well, the Nintendo Switch Online is something.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about the online portion then. Is it
Yeah.
good?
That depends entirely on what you want it for.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the most popular multiplayer games on Nintendo Switch?
Smash Brothers Ultimate, I think, is very popular. Mario Maker 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
The multiple games that benefit the most from the Nintendo Switch Online subscription is the fucking multiplayer games that are, the ones we already talked about. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, follow up. The fucking online is terrible. That's it.
In a lot of cases, I've had issues with lag. I've had issues with disconnecting. I have a good connection, so I shouldn't have these issues, but apparently they're still there. It is infuriating.
let me guess, your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm Wi-Fi.
Yeah, okay. Never mind that argument. Yeah, they're going to fucking chew your life, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with myself,
I'm
and
never,
I am
I'm
going
never,
to.
I'm never gonna be like an esports player with Wi-Fi. So
No. I am going to provide a fucking steel iron argument against the Switch. Because guess what, fuckers? I do strap my fucking Switch down with a fucking Ethernet cable. So I think I know what I'm talking about when I say
yeah,
that
and you still
that the fucking thing is still terrible regardless.
okay. So you still get lag even if you have an Ethernet cable.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Is it
Still
possibly
get lag.
just your console that's having the problem and others are doing well with it?
Yeah, the console still the game still get laggy, and like Alex has seen the power of my fucking internet. It's 100 megabytes upload and 100 megabits download. Okay,
Yeah,
Nice.
I
it's
have
one of
the
it's one of those things I'm really jealous of. So.
I have the
Thanks for
best
bringing that up.
I have the best fucking optic cable internet in the fucking country because I live in Mexico, right?
Mexico.
And even then, I still have lag.
Yep.
How the fuck do I have lag
Dude,
when I have the best fucking internet? I am a literal 1% in Mexico.
Yeah, you're the elite.
How the fuck? How? Just tell me how, Nintendo.
Yeah.
At that
So-
point, you realize that it's a console's problem, not the fucking internet.
okay.
So
Nintendo
we can
has-
conclude that
All right.
Nintendo Switch Online has a terrible connection for multiplayer.
But has like Nintendo been very cooperative and trying to help you with this problem?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they've ever addressed
Fuck
it.
no.
Okay,
I
is
don't think
Nintendo
they
supportive at least, like of other issues?
What?
Like, is the communication between Nintendo and the Switch users like clear? Like, is it
They don't
clear?
give a shit. They
Oh,
don't give a shit.
I'm
They made it clear since the beginning of this that they don't give a shit. They
yeah.
simply don't.
One thing you do get with Nintendo Switch Online, just to change the subject slightly, is you get Super Nintendo and Nintendo, like NES titles, included with the subscription. And they release new ones every now and then. The big problem there, I've noticed, is the amount of games is very low. They're basically feeding us like 2 games every 2 months or something, maybe 3 months. Like, I think
And
it's
even
every
that-
quarter.
And even then, some of those ports tend to have some issues in emulation. I heard that it's something related to the Switch hardware, but I don't really
I
I
remember
don't really
playing.
trust those sorts
I
of
remember
stuff.
playing Super Mario World online with my friends, and we had severe lag issues. And my friend was like, "Well, this is SNES, it had problems." And I was like, "No, I played Super Mario World religiously when I was a kid. I know how this game runs. It does not run this badly." Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it does have issues with emulation. It has a lot of issues, and like, sure, it's fine if you're playing alone on the bus and this is the only thing you have, but it's not good.
Again, I will fucking die on that hill. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
That the Nintendo Switch Online is definitely the worst thing I've ever had the displeasure of playing.
I wouldn't
I
say
played through the fucking Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Wii Wi-Fi, which was
Yeah.
way worse.
it
And
was way worse.
and honestly, like, I didn't care back
But-
then because it was fucking free.
But we didn't pay for the Wii online. We didn't pay for it, so it was terrible. But we hadn't, spent any money on getting multiplayer in Wii games.
yeah. Okay. So multiplayer for some people is not going to work because Nintendo is not very good at keeping up the servers, apparently.
Why don't
So,
they do that?
but if there's anything that I know Nintendo's great at, it is the couch family fun play together on their consoles. They are
I
very.
I
Oh,
just mentioned every single game in the current Nintendo Switch lineup discourages the whole concept of couch family gameplay. Like I said, you are limited in the islands you make in Animal Crossing New Horizons. So if somebody else, like your significant other or something like that, is going to it wants to play in their own island at their own time, at their own pace, and don't want to fucking be dragged or be told that you can't play the game that you want
I'm
to
not
play.
talking about that in general. I'm not talking about multiple save files. I'm talking about like party games. Like Mario Kart 8, Mario Party, whatever number they're on.
What about them? You still have to buy controllers for them. You still have to fucking.
Everyone has to buy controllers for every console. There's no ifs or buts about that.
Right.
Yeah, you need
right.
extra controllers,
So
right.
yeah.
So like just because they can do something doesn't mean that they're doing it right. Like maybe Smash Bros. Because it allows for up to 8 players to play them, but no other game does that. So what's the fucking point? It's going to be the same experience as you will get in a PS4, as you will get on the Xbox One, as same as you will get on the PC.
But you can't play Super Smash Brothers Ultimate on the PS4. So I had a great experience playing couch co-op last time because during my vacation this year, I visited a friend and brought my Switch, and we played on the TV and played couch co-op, and played together, and we had a lot of fun. Like as a couch gaming type system, I think the Switch is great. Because all the controllers are wireless, so you don't have to worry about wires and stuff. But that's most consoles nowadays. But that is a plus. And we played Super Smash Bros. We played Mario Kart 8, and I think we played some Animal Crossing New Horizons, like local Wi-Fi as well. That were great because we both own the game.
Bless you.
Yeah, it was you. So yeah, those are the games we played. I haven't played Mario Maker 2 as much because I'm not huge into Mario Maker. I've never been, but I think it's a cool little thing.
Anyways, like I said, I mentioned that the couch multiplayer stuff is discouraged, so that's a thing. But anyways,
it's discouraged in certain games. It's not discouraged in like everything. So. But a lot of multi-platform games aren't really made for couch co-op, unfortunately. So it depends on the game. It's like I will say that's on the per game basis.
Well,
a lot of first party games have are no couch co-op, which is cool. But all right, let's wrap this up, guys. We'll go one each of giving your final thoughts and your argument. Then we'll let the comments decide of who wins this argument.
Okay. I mean, you already. I'm pretty sure you can drive your conclusions on your own. So how about you tell us what you thought of the debate?
All right. I did play a bit of Nintendo Switch at the gaming cafe for it was a lock-in during New Year's, so we played that all night. I agree. I hate the controller. Using it by itself, it's too tiny. It's way too tiny. And with someone with big hands, it's not really fun. I prefer using the Pro Controller, which is quite nice. Let's see here. Don't care for the battery life. The battery life sucks.
Oh, the early models.
Yeah, but again, like you all said, they don't really specify at times, and they still sold the old.
Yeah, it can be a bit of
I say it's a good console. Overall, I say it's a good console. It's not the greatest console I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest, but I do think it's a overall decent console. Probably wait for it to go on sale or something for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. That's my general thoughts of it.
Yeah, my general thoughts are that I love the Switch, but that's mostly because of my own personal preferences and my own personal needs. It fulfills needs for me in that way.
What I wanted was for Chris to summarize our thoughts.
Oh well, sorry, I just gave my own thoughts.
I still have something to add here. one of the things I got a Vita for was the same reason I bought a Switch, which is to play like some big titles, like first-person shooters and stuff like that, horribly. And the Switch has been a better PS Vita for me than the PS Vita. But one thing I miss about the Vita is that it was also an MP3 player. It could play Netflix and stuff like that. And the Switch doesn't really have much support in terms of multimedia. You can't like load MP3 files on it. You can't play videos off it. It does have YouTube, but nothing else. So as a multimedia console, I don't think it's really good enough.
You want to know something?
It also doesn't have any support for Bluetooth headphones.
You
so
want
you're limited to using.
Hang on, Alex. You want to know something I do with my Nintendo Switch?
Mm.
When I go to take a bath, I often grab my Switch, put it on YouTube, and then put music on it.
Yeah, that's true. You can play music on YouTube.
That's pretty nice.
But at least that's it. At least that's giving it a use.
Yeah, that's the closest you can get. But all in all, I think the Switch is probably one of Nintendo's most interesting consoles as far as what it can do. Because as a portable console, I think it's amazing. It has so many great titles. It has a massive library. There's definitely something for everyone on the Switch. And especially if you love retro shooters, it has Doom, it has Duke Nukem 3D, it has Iron Fury, Bulletstorm. I recommend the Switch, but definitely get one of the newer models if you can. Look out for the HAC-001 model because that has better battery life. That's all I have to say.
All right, Yul. Time. Let's wrap up your thoughts.
I get the concept of the Switch. I get it. I get it. But the fucking thing fails at it. Okay.
You're a grump.
Stop it. I mean it when I say that it's just not the best system out there, and I believe it's pretty garbage. The system has way too many setbacks. The games are basically gimped nowadays, and I'm a little bit distracted because I'm editing. I'm editing an article as we're speaking. So yeah.
All right, then I'll sum up your thoughts then, so you can focus a little bit more on that. Then. All right. So if I got this.
Let me finish mine end so that you can go into your final thoughts.
Okay.
But yeah, I get the concept of the Switch. It's basically a great system. It's basically a great system for people who want to take their games on the go. And yes, I understand that. But the Switch is not primarily a portable system. It's a hybrid console for a reason. And the home experience is pretty lacking. The ports, in my opinion, are definitely not worth it compared to other games. The fact you can take it portably.
You can't take a PS4 easily with you on the go, and you certainly can't.
Hang on.
It is a hybrid console, but that's also why it's kind of lacking because it is a hybrid console. It has to take
Alex, let Yul finish. Let Yul finish.
Okay.
Let's finish, Alex. Yes, you can get those experiences on the console. But you know where else you can also get this experience on? Like, for example, especially with any SNES and NES games, on your phone.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty much the long and short of it, because you can play up to fucking PS1 games on mobile devices nowadays.
Yeah, but that's an entirely different conversation.
It's not because you can actually emulate those.
But if you
have way more options for the Switch than the Switch. I mean.
Yeah, but if you're buying a Switch to emulate games, then you're not buying it for the right reason. That's just how it is.
Right. Okay.
It's not an emulation. It's not an emulation.
Let's keep talking about the Switch. About the Switch on the terms of the ports. Again, I agree that the portable capabilities of the Switch are good for some ports, like for example the aforementioned Doom 2016 port. Langrisser 1 and 2 is also pretty good, especially because it's a RPG that you can play on the go. But again, it's not primarily like those points will fly if those points will fly if the Switch was a dedicated portable system. And guess what? Reality check. It's not.
That depends
So-
entirely on how you use it, or you can use it as an entirely portable system. And Nintendo even released an entirely portable Switch. So, yeah, like
Yeah, but the Switch.
I'll leave it up to the. I'll leave
But
it up
even
to
the,
the viewers.
but even the Switch Lite has its own problems. It even has the fucking Joy-Con drift problem. So
It's even more on the issue on that. So yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Let's not even go to the Switch Lite. I'm talking about the Switch primarily. Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, as a home console, it fails. Fails terribly. The ports are awful. They
I
can't even.
agree on that, but let's just agree to disagree because I don't think we can agree on that.
We'll let the audience decide on that.
Yeah.
Who is right?
In
the
my
port-
opinion, that's up to the viewer to decide like
Yeah.
what they want to use it for.
Can I finish my argument already? I let you finish, Alex.
Go on.
anyways. So yeah, I think that the system is way too bad at the thing at the things it's trying to set out to do. Maybe portably it can be great, and again, you have to find the right games because it's basically a matter of guessing which game is actually not going to be broken piece of shit. But again, if the system cannot even hold a standard on again the lowest common denominator, which is 720p 60 frames per second, or at least at the very least 30 frames per second, then it really fails as a console. That's basically my whole opinion. That it needs to uphold a standard. It doesn't matter how things were made, and I understand why this was made like the way it is with the Tegra processor and stuff like that. It's because it was made on a budget. That's a very important thing to know, especially because the Nintendo Switch was dragged back severely due to the Wii U's awful sales performance. So I didn't expect to have a super next gen console when I got my Switch, but even then I expected nothing and I still got disappointed. So that means it's less.
All right then. Well,
I think it's obvious we both have very different experiences with this.
yep, and that's the people in the comment section will decide if the Switch was good or not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed our little debate / discussion. Thankfully, there was
thanks.
very little bloodshed. All right. Catch you guys later. Peace out.
Yes.
Bye.